Yes, and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. My name is Ryan Clifford, and join me in this Saturday night evening podcast is my good man, Mr. Alan Stirling. Alan, Boxing Day, Celtic good victory. Now it's -12 after, well, we all know what happened. Now the most successful team in Scotland. How's your Christmas been, mate? How's your Boxing Day? And how are you feeling about the last few days at Scottish football?
Yeah, I think you've just remembered me that it's Saturday. It feels like kind of Monday, Tuesday, something like that. I think days are all over the camp just now. Aye, no, Merry Christmas, mate, and I hope all the viewers had a lovely Christmas. I certainly did. Just a nice relaxing one with family and friends, etc. So, aye, obviously we got the win in Boxing Day, and we're shall we say rivals. They they faltered away to St Mirren, so aye, it's 12 points. It was maybe a game of two halves for us in Boxing Day. I think we were possibly a bit lacklustre in the first half. It was similar to what we've seen the last few weeks. It wasn't really kind of vintage Celtic, shall we say. But I think the second half, it was definitely a change. I think the second half's probably the best I've seen us play since maybe the semi final against Aberdeen. I think that was a massive improvement in the second half. So hopefully we can take that second half performance and let's kick on and let's kind of get back to the performances we've seen the early parts of the season, because I think that certainly had similarities in that second half performance. So no, hope everyone's well and your good self as well. Look forward to talking about Celtic.
Yeah, all good, mate. As you said there, I hope everybody who's watching's had a good Christmas, good Boxing Day, and obviously New Year coming up as well. So I hope you all have a good New Year as well. But yeah, Alan, like you say, we'll get to some of the comments and then we'll get into the last kind of few days at Celtic. Jerry Burns back on again, even Ryan and Al, and everybody tuning in. Hope you all had a great Christmas. Cheers, Jerry, you too. Hope you're all good, mate. And even Alan and Ryan in the chat, hope everybody's had a good Christmas and Santa was all good. Yeah, Anne's brilliant. Santa was brilliant to me, so
That was
thanks a
good to
lot.
everybody.
Aye,
Right.
we're all good Celtic fans, so it's all good, Ange. But yeah, hope you're well as well. Thanks for tuning in once again. Leo Porter, a good man, Leo. Good evening, lads. Hope you had a good Christmas and maybe Boxing Day was better. Aye, no bad, Leo. Hope you're well as well, mate, and you're enjoying your Saturday night. St Mary's Parish, top of the league, looking down on the Rangers. Merry Christmas to all Celtic fans across the world. Merry Christmas to you too. Thanks for watching. Van Helsing, hail, hail all, hail, hail. Hope you're well. George, all right, hula hoops. Well, I think there'll be plenty of hula hoops getting out of the next few days anyway. I'll tell you that, George. Thanks a lot, mate. Hope you're well. Alan and Ryan, Francis, hail, hail, boys and girls. Alan and Ryan, up watching my grandson tonight. So one about like headless chicken. All the best, Francis. But the fact you're tuning into us, mate, that's fantastic. So you're multitasking, mate. So Merry Christmas to you too, mate. Enjoy your night. Lindsay Greenwood, hi, Lindsay, how you doing? Good evening, Ryan. Alan in the chat. Hail, hail, all. Hail, hail, Lindsay. Good Christmas as well. Tony away from a hangover. Good point. That's I think majority of Glasgow were the same. Big Rab C, hope you're well. Even gents, Merry Christmas. I'm wishing everyone to have a happy New Year and Christmas. You too, Big Rab. Thanks for tuning once again. Evening, all G Doc. Hope you're well. And Christoph again. Hail, hail, boys and girls. And on the City View. Hail, hail, pal. Hope you're well. And last wee bit from Francis, we need to have full commitment and up to speed to get performances we're looking for, lads. Yeah, I think Alan touched on that, fair Francis, and it is something that we will dive into a wee bit. Obviously, Alan, the Motherwell game on Boxing Day. What was obviously your initial thoughts? But again, obviously, just a wee reminder of the goal scorers and stuff. It was Engels penalty. Nicholas Kuhn, Maeda and Rio Hatate in a 4-0 victory at Celtic Park. What was your thoughts, Alan, overall after the match? Obviously, 4-0 victory looks good on the eye. It looks like an easy cruising victory. It was majority of the game. But what was your thoughts after the game and any critical part of it at all, or is it just more the fact that first half is a wee bit kind of, well, I say boring, but it was a wee bit slow and laboured, but the second half again, the changes happen and it kind of gets the team up to speed again?
Oh, I think you've summed that up well. I think you've hit the nail on the head there. The changes happened, and that's when kind of we changed. I think you look at the first half, it was just, as I say, I think the proper word for it is lacklustre. I think it was just lacking energy, lacking intensity, lacking that bit of tempo. We obviously made the changes, and that's where we realised where we need to kind of strengthen depth. Because you look at the difference that kind of Nicholas Quinn made, which he's saying.
Annual leave.
Annual leave. So, well, good man JP's been feeling poorly, so the daddies are on to kind of make up for that, so it's all right. Don't worry about it, we're on. I hope you're well, I hope you're feeling well now, JP,
Yep.
my good friend.
Hope you're well, mate.
No, as I was saying, I think it shows the kind of the depth we're missing in the wing position. I think you look at the difference that Nicholas Kuhn made, just with the overall play. I know he got his goal as well, but his overall play, it just raises the tempo and intensity in our play. And I think the experiment with a certain kind of South Korean called Yang, I think that's over. I think we're all starting to realise that we've seen him in kind of 5-10 minute spells, but I'm not seeing that it's good enough for to be a starter for Celtic or be a kind of significant squad member. As I say, the goal came at a very important time as well, obviously into injury time in the first half. I think it was a penalty. There's a lot of talk about it. I think there is contact. I think Yang might have got down, went down as if he's been shot by a sniper, but there's still there was still contact there. I think it still justifies a penalty. Would I feel slightly aggrieved if it was given against us? Possibly. But my overall kind of thoughts on the game is the second half. That's where I want to focus on. The second half, that's where we played some really good football. We started to up our game. We started to show the kind of quality within that we've got. And probably the changes that we made, you look at how Hatate played when he came on as well. He's been getting a lot of kind of criticism, and rightly so. He's not been up to his game in recent weeks. But you look at Hatate and Kuhn when they come on, even Kyogo to a certain degree. So you're looking at the kind of three players. They've took their game to another level, whereas we were probably lacking in the first half. So we need to take that kind of. I think Brendan says similar. We need to take that kind of that second half performance, the amount of effort, the amount of intensity and tempo we're taking into that game. We need to put that for a full 90 minutes, I think. And we've shown we could do that previously earlier in the season. I think we're fully capable of doing that, and it just shows how high a standard that Celtic have got, that we can play to that level. And it's a 4-0 victory. Were you expecting a 4-0 victory in the first half, Ryan? I don't know. I probably wasn't. I was probably saying to myself, "Oh, just get a 1 or 2-0 and let's go up the road and on to the next one." But at the end of the day, we've got players there that could really hurt teams in this league, and that's just showing the players we brought on, and we're really effective in the second half, in my opinion.
Aye, obviously I was at the game myself, mate, and I'm not going to lie, at half time I was pretty bored. I don't want to say it was boring, but I was cold, I was bored, there was nothing exciting me. It was quite slow again, laboured, slow to get out the traps. I've had the odd wee chance, but we just lacked a bit of something. And then when it obviously came out the second half, it was far better. But again, I've said it to JP, yourself, I've said it to a lot of people personally. I know it might sound mental and I could get clipped for this and whatever else, but I know the subs are there to make changes. I know the subs are there to help the team and come on and freshen it up. But the last few weeks were very reliant on them doing that. And no, every time subs come on the park, they're not always going to score goals. There might be a game where nothing happens. Like Kuhn, aye, that go in, but another day that deflects wide and it might not go in. And there's loads of things that can impact your subs coming on. Aye, listen, it's hard to come on. Sorry, it's easier to come on for me as a sub, but you're not playing well because you can then go make an impact. But don't be thinking that, Alan, if I'm really saying something stupid here, but I don't.
No, I
Surely the
think.
guys, I think we're too reliant on having the 5 subs and then going, right, okay, like Ida. For me, Ida was no great. His movement, what movement? Nothing
Mm.
there. We said he's a physical. We said he's got a physical presence. Where is it? I've not seen it recently. There was one in the box where, listen, now, I'm not talking for match piece. I'm a big guy. But when I played, you hold the ball in, you get your elbows out, you get your arse out, and you hold it in. There's one in the first half. The 2 minutes just were like, see you later, pal. He's going to be, for me, Alan, for what he's producing, we might go back to the fee again. But I feel he's got, it's all right coming off the bench and showing 10 minutes flashes. But when you get a start, you need to do it, because for me, for me, what you said there's bang on, because for me, when the wee man came on up front, for me, he showed the difference.
No, definitely. I agree that Ida has to do more. Even without the kind of high price tag, I think he, for what we've seen him last year as well, I don't really think he's hitting that standards. As I says, we've had this debate about kind of angles. We need to give these guys time. We've seen it before. We'll give the guys the benefit of the doubt. But at the minute, am I seeing Adam Ida getting anywhere near Kyogo? I'm not so sure. I don't think so, in my opinion. I think you make decent points there. Sometimes, if we played against a better team in that first half, that game might have got away from us. You look at, I'm not saying they're anywhere near our standards, right? But you look at the team across the city in that cup final, right? They had a chance when they were 4-1 to go 2-0, right? Before we turned that round and we played fantastically. Well, we played better. I'm not going to say fantastically well, but we played better. We managed to turn the game around. But they had a chance, a clear 4-1 chance to kind of make that 2-0. We need to make sure we're playing for 90 minutes and no for kind of 45, because that sometimes, if you're playing in Europe, if you're playing against maybe them across the city or Aberdeen, we can't be too complacent, because sometimes if you come out and you don't play at all in the first half, then that game could get away from you. It could quite easily go kind of 2-0. So it is positive because of how we performed in the second half. As I say, that's probably, I think it's the best we've played since the Aberdeen semi-final in that second half. But we need to put that together for 90 minutes, in my opinion. We need to make sure that we're continuing to talk about how kind of much strength and depth we've got, how good our squad is, but there is certain areas of our squad that is kind of seriously lacking. We have spoke about it. We have spoke about kind of the left back position. We're talking about the right back position, and we're talking about the wings. I'm sure that whoever the powers that be at the club are looking at kind of replacements and squad depth within the squad to come in January. But at the minute, we need to make sure that all the squad members are contributing and we're playing to the best of our ability for 90 minutes. Because we've seen that a few times this season, that it's been for 45-minute spells, and the other 45 minutes has been kind of, as you worded it, maybe boring. But it's well within our capabilities to play that well for 90 minutes. You're even looking at, I don't know if it's to do with the contract situation. I know you're no his biggest fan, but I think Greg Taylor, there's a lot of kind of mistakes starting to come into his game as well. You're looking at his organisation skills. He's all over the park. He's a bit erratic at the minute. So, it's no massively kind of rosy at the minute. But when you look at the overall picture, we've only been beaten kind of twice this year, in this calendar year. We're sitting 12 points clear. We've won our first trophy. We're probably one draw or one away for kind of progressing into the playoff round of the Champions League new format. So it is fantastic as well, but I think we've set ourselves that higher standard. We've seen how well Celtic can play this year, and that's what the fans are looking at. We're saying, Celtic, you can do this to this level. Why have we not seen that in the last few weeks? We've seen it in that second half, and I hope that's where we can kick on for. We can see the positivities for that second half, and let's show that for 90 minutes come tomorrow afternoon.
Aye, no, listen, there's no many negatives, if any at all, for the game weekend. But obviously, there's parts of the first half. Aye, it wasn't great. Again, it's this passing back and middle, it's not going forward with Taylor and Ralston, and it's frustrating, Alan, when the guys are moving and it's not there. The passes on the air. There was one Taylor made, like you said, he made a mistake similar in the game, the cup final. When I go to Motherwell, that can't keep happening because better teams will punish you. And we just want the mistakes not to happen. For me, 100%, a left back and a right back for better options and better quality. We can definitely see the drop off in quality for, especially for AJ to Ralston. Again, Ralston's he's a very steady Eddie Scottish player for domestic, and he'll give his all and he'll put in the tackle stuff. But there's levels to that position for me to him and Johnson. Taylor as well. I honestly think, see if I'm at his value, I'm saying to Barca, just let me go back home. Because what is the point in having a guy who is in the squad of Barcelona, you're paying him about 20 odd grand a week to sit on the bench? It's pointless. It's pointless having him there if he's not going to get game time. You can't tell me that. I know, but listen, my opinion is probably nothing to you, but Brendan thinks, right, you, I know Alan, anybody, he's the main man and he picks the team. His opinion is the biggest thing in the lot. But what's Greg Taylor doing that we've not seen that Alex Weisel done?
No, I'm of similar opinions. Maybe you've got a bit of a stronger opinion on Greg Taylor. I think he's been fairly decent for where he's came for us. I think he's been an important member of the squad for the last kind of number of years. But when you look at the kind of abilities and the attributes that Alex Vaille's got, for me personally, I think Alex Valle is a better player and a better option than Greg Taylor. And I think you've seen in the last number of weeks that there's more kind of complacency that's coming into Greg Taylor's game as well. You've seen a number of mistakes. As I say, he's able to kind of sign for a new team in a few days in a pre-contract agreement. So he's a human being. Maybe there is things going through his head that's impacting his performances. But for me, these kind of mistakes, as you say, I'm not saying that kind of Rangers or Aberdeen are any great shakes, but when you make the mistakes against kind of the teams, it more than likely is going to cost us and cost us a goal. Maybe it didn't happen with Motherwell, but you're thinking with any kind of decent players, they're going to take advantage of a mistake like that. So I think obviously we've had chats of kind of Tierney coming in, etc. But I think there is kind of glaringly obvious positions that we need to strengthen in depth. And for me, you're looking at left back, right back, and for me, the biggest one now is the wing position. When you look at the vast gulf, the Grand Canyon of gulf between the likes of kind of Nicholas Kuhn and Yang, for me, we need somebody in there that's got to be decent backup. And for me, I've made up my mind now. I was saying that Yang's maybe showing a wee bit in spells, but you're looking at the last two games that he's had kind of proper game time, and I think it's scary that we've got kind of him coming in and starting for Celtic now, because the difference in quality, the drop in quality between the likes of Yang and then you've got Maida and Kuhn. I think it's absolutely massive. It's gigantic drop in quality for me.
Aye, well, you know my thoughts on Yang. I've never rated him ever since last year when his performance against St Johnstone, and then obviously the goal that they scored for Sakala, which was a fantastic goal, but it was due to Yang's defending. And for me, there was no excuse for that. You show him down the line. It's just criminal defending, and it's small things like that eventually I'm like, right, you need to be better than that. And like you says in the first part of the show, mate, it's all right team over 10 minutes and showing flashes when the team's maybe winning or when you're in the ascendancy attacking. But when you need to start the game and then you need to provide assists, or you need to provide creativity, or you need to provide that contribution for the start, it's totally different. And for me, I thought it was very, very poor. Running the ball at the park and missed touching it. And listen, we're all humans. Naturally, can have a bad game, but majority of the time with Yang, that's the case for him when he starts games. And there's a reason, there's reasons why he's not been playing. And then you talk about Palmer, again, you're throwing that up and didn't go on again. So
Palmer's a lost cause. I think he's definitely gone.
I think Palmer's personally going to be elsewhere. Yang, I don't know if he's just playing now because that's the only option we've got. But again, Aaron, does that then go back to the youth? Is there nobody in the youth that's able to come in? Me personally, I don't. Again, listen, I'm only talking for what I'm seeing by the manager, not even putting them on the bench or not even getting 5-10 minutes here and there. Right? I don't watch the B team every week, so I can't comment fully, right? But for what I feel from the manager not playing them at all or not giving them a chance, the wingers that they cover any forwards out there that can play there in the youth team, they must be able to need it, because if they were better than Yang or even close to that level, they surely be getting a chance, no?
You'd like to think so, but there's no. We've spoken about it a number of times. There's not been that many kind of youth players that have come through that have kind of consolidated in the first team, whether that be within the squad or the first 11. But you've known that many players come out of Lennoxtown recently. We hope that changes in the near future. But at the minute, if Brendan's kind of if he's choosing to go with kind of Yang or Palmer before that, then you've got to trust the kind of manager that we've got. For me, I would be probably blaming the recruitment just now. I know that we had a fairly decent transfer window in the summer, and we were reasonably happy with it. But I think if you recall that we were on this kind of podcast screaming out that we definitely needed another option in the wing position. Sadly, we didn't bring in another option as a winger. And I think when you've got kind of James Forrest injured and then you've got Nicholas Kuhn that was out as well, you're starting to see the drop off in quality in that position. So hopefully that's something that's lucky enough that we're coming up to the January transfer window. Hopefully that's something that the manager and the recruitment team have noticed, and we can rectify that in the next coming weeks and bring in a bit more kind of strength and depth in that position.
Right then, if you want to call it negatives, get them out of the way. It's all due to the positives. That was the second half, Alan, and it obviously into the 4-0 victory. Thought Nicholas Kuhn was very good when he came on. I actually thought it was different class when he came on. You see his sharpness, you see the quality he's got, and it's like you says, it's quite telling how that the difference is when you seen him coming on, and even the wee man Kyogo done well as well when he came on. And but obviously for the penalty for Engels, I thought a good penalty again, stuck it away. Confident, I'm the penalty taker, I want the ball. He's getting a wee bit of criticism recently, but he's had the confidence to take the ball and slot it away, and you get man of match. And I actually thought he was very good at the weekend. I thought he was very good. Again, I spoke to other people who didn't think he was great. They don't know what he brings. It just shows you that we all see games differently, but I thought Engels was good. I think he's got, is it 5 goals and 7 assists in 23 games? It's all right. It's not fantastic, but it's all right. Again, if you go to Augsburg in Germany, it wasn't like he had 15 assists and 20 goals, and he's more of that type. For me, he's a powerhouse. He's running power and things like that. So, but what's your opinion on Engels, Alan? Again, I thought he done really well. I don't get man of the match, but some guys get man of the match, or maybe been nothing reach and they come on and score and make it man of the match. But I thought Engels was one of the better players at the weekend. Sorry, during the week, sorry.
I think he was fairly decent. I don't think he's shown his complete potential just now. I think when he first came in, he was showing more. As I said for a number of weeks, I think still a young player, still adapting to the way that Celtic plays, still adapting to the culture. So I'm willing to give him a chance. I think he was fairly decent. I don't think he kind of set the world alight. It's kind of 6.5, 7 out of 10 that I'd be giving him at present. You're looking at Top McCowan done fairly well as well, but you look at the kind of impact that when Kuhn and Hatate come on, right? I know it's just one or two players that are coming on, right? But it's that domino effect. You've got Kuhn pressing, you've got Kuhn making the runs, you've got Kuhn attacking, and that kind of brings the other players on. So it's a domino effect. It's making, aye. So it's a domino effect. It's making the other players kind of step up to the mark as well. It's bringing that bit of intensity that the other players are joining in. So aye, it's just it's just that one or two players that kind of make the difference, and it makes the whole team kind of revolve. But I think you can see anybody that likes football, anybody that watches football, you can see that Engels has definitely got ability. My opinion is that he has just kind of adapted to the game. He has been called up by the Belgian national side, so that doesn't happen for nothing unless you've got kind of a fair bit of ability about you. So I think Engels has got to be one that's maybe next season that you'll see, maybe the end of this season as well, you will see starting to really, really motor on and really start to adapt to the game. But I wouldn't be one to criticise him at the minute. I think he's still doing fairly well. And I think that there's a lot more to come from him.
George says, if I'm in the Celtic jersey, they must have something. No, I get that, George. What if Yang and Palmer come on and scored at Ibrox and won 2-0? Every player gets it. It's a big game that count. Need a lot more. No, I get that, George. Personally, I still wouldn't change my mind on them if they did come in and score at Ibrox. It would be amazing if that happens. Honestly, I'd celebrate them for that night. But me personally, Alan, I get George's comment there. Thanks, George. But even if Yang scored 4 goals against Rangers, I still wouldn't change my mind on him as a player longer term. I'd say well done to the guy, and maybe that gives him a wee springy step and it might step him up. But I just don't see, for me personally, what else Yang and Palmer can do at Celtic to make them better, because he's been here 18 months, Yang, similar to Palmer. Palmer, for me, his numbers were deceiving last year. I've said that before, so we've maybe got something, but maybe no for our level to take us forward, if that's
No,
fair.
I'm sorry to disagree with you, Joe, but no, for me, I think they're right wrong. Right, they're professional footballers, right? But in comparison to the needs that Celtic have got for the quality that Celtic needs, for me, the two of them are nowhere near it. And for me, you're looking at kind of the Rangers game. You need to look at every game individually. And I know that's an old cliche, right? But you look at that mob across the water on Boxing Day, right? They're drafting players. They draft that Raskin because he was one booting away for no playing against us, and they get beat. You look at the game before that with us, we made 6 changes, tried squad rotation, and we dropped 2 points. So for me, the 3 points in every game, it's just as important that we win against St Johnstone as it is important as we win against Rangers.
Yep.
So I know we'll discuss later about kind of our team predictions and who we think should start, etc. But for me, I think it's time that we start kind of playing our strongest 11, because I know that squad rotation has to happen. I know that we've got kind of games coming thick and fast. We have got a hell of a lot of games that we've played before, and it's been kind of 2-3 games a week, most of the weeks in the last number of months. So, but for me, I think the next few games, I says to you guys in the chat today, I think you're looking at the St Johnstone game, the Rangers game, and the Young Boys game. I think these 3 games are going to kind of define our season. I think we win the next 2 games, and everybody thinks that the league's done and dusted, but we win these next 2 games, and for me, that is a kind of insurmountable gap that nobody could get anywhere near. And then you look at if we can progress into the playoff round of the Champions League. So I think these 3 games are absolutely massive. And for me, the next 2 games, I'd be playing our strongest side. Obviously, Brendan, he gets paid the big bucks to make up the decisions. It's just us that are sitting when we're loving them, talking about Celtic onto a phone. But for me, I think that the next 2 games, we need to make sure we've got the strongest possible side that we're putting out. And hopefully the likes of kind of Nicholas Kuhn, Alistair Johnston, whoever we're strongest 11 may be, hopefully we see a bit of them in the next couple of games.
Yeah, definitely, Alan. I think obviously we've got 2 important games now. Obviously, Celtic Park and Johnston aren't doing great at all. They're not in good form. In terms of the way they're playing, I think at the weekend they 2-1 get beat the weekend there. During the beat even. There we go again. So they're not in the best of form, St Johnstone. So again, don't count your chickens, but you're really hoping you go and put a performance in tomorrow and you go and get the victory, and then it leads up to obviously the derby game. Whether we are how many points we're ahead or no, you still need to go there and really put in a performance, because they'll have the crowd up, they'll have the 50,000. We'll go there with no fans. They'll probably try and start early and get the crowd up their tails up. So you want to kind of quiet the crowd early doors when you go to Ibrox. That's always the case. But no, I agree with you, Alan. Every game's the most important.
I
For
see,
me, I
I
think.
see JP saying there about we can't rely on the same 11. My point being is that these next two games have got massive importance. I'm not saying the games following that we don't rotate, but I think the next two games we put down a massive, massive statement, a massive, massive marker. If we can pick up 6 points in the next two games, for me, I can't see any way back in the league. I know we've got a massive kind of point difference at the minute. There's 12 points, but for me, if we can increase that to a minimum of 15 points, I don't see any way back. So I would put everything into these next two games and make sure that we've got the best quality side that we can possibly have in our first 11 and starting.
A good point there as well from, I'll get it for Jerry. He says, lads, would you like to see Jota back if that was possible? And if so, would he put Dyson or Kuhn out the team? Good question, Jerry. Put that one to Big Alan.
Aye, I still think so. I've got a soft spot for Mr. Jota. I thought he was absolutely incredible. I think Kuhn's really stepped up to the mark and has probably been my best player this year, along with Dyson Maida. But you're looking at the amount of rotation that happens and within our team. I know we're just said there that play our strongest team, but you look at the amount of rotation we've seen in the midfield. You look at the amount of rotation we've seen in the defence. We have not seen that this season because of the matter of fact is that we've not got the quality that's stepping up to the mark that's similar or on a similar level to Dyson Maida and Nicholas Kuhn. If the likes of somebody, it doesn't need to be Jota, but if somebody at that level, somebody of that quality was on the bench, then you would see a lot more rotation in that position. We've seen very, very little rotation in that position unless there's been injuries. I don't think there's been any suspensions, but unless there's been injuries, that's the only reason we've seen rotation in the wing position, because you can see that the guys that are kind of backing them up are way, way off the quality level that Dyson Maida and Nicholas Kuhn have got. So it's obviously a no-brainer. If we had the opportunity, if it was possible to get Jota back, he played his best football here. It was absolutely incredible. His goals and assists were incredible, especially against that mob as well. So if it was possible, financially possible to get him back, for me, it's definitely a no-brainer. What I'm reading that his club just now are trying to get him moved on. If it was possible, I think that would definitely be something that Brendan would look at as well.
Jerry says, I think it would be hard on Dyson and Kuhn, but I understand your view. Aye, no, it's all about opinion, Jerry.
I think it'd be very close between the three. I don't think they've done anything wrong.
I think in terms of, listen, that hypothetically, if Jota was to come and there was an option to come, right, I don't know anything. It's just a few links we've seen the other day, but I think ex-players who have been here and done well and they're still at a decent age, there's maybe always going to be rumours of them coming back. Or if there's a Celtic fan, just say like John McGinn, if he's leaving Villa, there'll be links to him coming to Celtic, and just because he's a Celtic fan and been linked before, that's always going to be the case. It'll be the same with Kieran Tierney until if he ever comes back or until he retires. He'll be linked here until probably he retires, so to come back. But obviously, with the point JP says as well, there, I agree with what JP saying, but I'm like you, Alan, as well. You can rotate, but rotating every single game, you're going to lose track of your area where you're playing, because you're chopping, changing. Guys are no, I know they're training each other, but you've seen it recently when guys have been in and out of team, the performances have been fluctuating. So 9 times out of 10, when you play majority of the same team, maybe one change or the odd two changes, it normally stays the same. You play fast, flowing, and you play quick. And listen, these guys are no robots, so we all know that You can't play 90 minutes every week at fast flowing football. There's going to be the odd performance that's no good, or the odd slow laboured, or the odd tired performance. That happens. But I think recently, Alan, we have seen it a lot the last few weeks. We're still winning games, which is brilliant. We've only lost 2. I think if we don't get beat off St Johnstone and tomorrow, I think it's 2 games a calendar year, which is phenomenal. It's incredible, right? It's unbelievable. But eventually, if we don't listen, we're allowed to get a defeat or 2. Listen, we're allowed to. It happens in a season. But if you don't play well, like we've been recently in the first half or the second half, and consistently, you might get the odd defeat, the odd draw. But listen, that's acceptable. But I think all we want is just a bit more consistent. If it's 60 minutes, 70 minutes, and then the game's done. But I think I get your. But as I'm the same as you, mate, that the first half wasn't great, and you're having to then go to a team talk, right? Let's go out and make sure we're better. I think you want to start off quickly, and then near the end, you obviously tire because it's 90 minutes and they're playing at that pace, Alan. But on the Kuhn and Jota thing there with Maeda, Jota's definitely a better player technically and quality wise than Maeda. I don't think that's a debate personally. I don't think the quality of a player in terms of technical ability and all that type of stuff. I think Jota's a better player, football player, if that makes sense. I think in terms of technical ability, but Maeda, what he brings you, his intensity, his running power, his defensive work. So I think having him back into the fold, if it was to sign hypothetically again, 3 good options, Aaron, because again, the CJ's Forest playing a lot next season, another year older. I don't see it. So he'll come in and out the team rotational, but I think we need to start looking by Forest now. He's getting to that age now where he's not got long left at Celtic. Maybe after next season, it could be his last, potentially. So I'm agreeing with you, Alan. I think a winger is definitely a priority in January or anything, because I think we're lacking there big time, because Palmer, no seen much done to play this year. Yang, no seen it again. Forrest injured, so you're relying on Kuhn and Maeda to play all the time. And you can play a lot of the games, but they still need a wee break here and there, and that's why you've got a squad.
No, it's imperative that we get a winner in January. You've seen that. The facts back that up as well.
No worries, mate. Take care.
You have a good one. It's imperative we get another winger. The facts back that up. Brendan has played the 2 guys more than probably, apart from maybe Schmeichel and Callum McGregor, the 2 guys have played more than anybody in the team. There has been rotation in other parts of the side. There has been kind of Yang and not as much Palmer. Yang and Forrest probably come on as subs a lot of the time. But you look at the amount of times that they 2 guys were started, it's clear to see that Brendan rates them
Enjoy Francis. Take care, mate.
Brendan rates them far, far highly more than the likes of kind of Yang and Palmer. So I think it's imperative that we bring in another winger, because it is a position that we're lacking in with regards to kind of strength and depth. And you're looking at a guy that we sell for kind of 25 million, that everybody was sitting thinking, how are we going to replace this guy? Cool has probably been player of the season so far for me. But is he better than Jota? That's a very, very difficult question. For me, I'd still maybe slightly say that Jota over a prolonged period of time for Celtic has produced more. But it is close on how kind of Kuhn's performing at present. But for me, it's a no-brainer. If you get the option to kind of bring in somebody Jota's quality, we know what he can do. We've seen it firsthand. We've seen it week in, week out. The guy's an incredible player, incredible winger. He's got kind of massive amounts of skill, massive amounts of ability. And if we've got that option, then we need to make sure that we bring him in. You're looking at kind of the team rotation as well. No, the area that we've rotated probably most, that I don't think affects us the most, is probably the midfield. You're looking at kind of we've got 5 players in that midfield for 3 positions, and you've seen quite a lot of rotation there. I don't think there's a massive amount of difference there in the midfield. I don't know if you agree with that, Ryan. but I don't think there's whoever comes in and out, maybe apart from Cal McGregor, but whoever comes in and out, it's no a massive drop in quality, whereas in other positions that we've got in the team, I think there is a bigger drop off when we replace one, maybe Ralston for Johnston, Yang for Cool, with the Palmer for Maida. I think you're looking at the positions, when you're looking at the strength and depth, that's where the serious drop off comes, where there's other positions in like the midfield, you don't notice it as much because it is probably we've got more strength and depth, and the quality wise it's maybe a bit closer.
Obviously, on the midfield, mate, I'll let you answer this and I'll come back in there. Typhoon, firstly, good evening, lads. Do you think Bernardo should start along with McKibben and Hatate to give Callum McGregor a little rest?
No, for me. I've made. I get what you're saying, Typhoon McFlustery. I get what you're saying. I think these next few games for me is the for rotation. I think the next two games is you play your strongest 11. I think these next two games are massively important for our season. McCow's done exceptionally well for coming in for Dundee for £1 million. You need to give him massive amounts of credit. But as it stands just now, I think our strongest midfield would be Cal McGregor, Rio Hatate, and Paulo Bernardo. And Brendan might think differently. For me, as I say, we're just guys that are sitting here talking about Celtic and we're really loving them. So Brendan might think differently for us, but for me, the next two games I would be starting in a midfield, McGregor, Bernardo, and Rio Hatate.
I always own Jota. I know the only thing that might have a bit of doubt in Celtic fans' minds and is the fact that he's not really done anything in 18 months since he's left. He's not really played a lot of football. That's 18 months where his development might have stalled. So that could be a thing where fans might go, well, he's not done anything in 18 months. Will he be the same Jota if he comes back? I'm just trying to put things here as to be a bit, if you want to call, I don't know, try to look at the 2 points here, the two sides. For me, it's if Jota's available and we can get him, if it's a cut price or it's financially possible, then I think Brendan could make him a superstar again. Personally, I think Brendan could be the sort of manager that could get him flying again. No saying game a free role, but similar to Nicholas Kunis, just let him start his stuff. And I think Jota would. I think he would get his. I think it was G-Doc that says in the comments there that I think he would give Jota his mojo back. He's played his best football here in a long time. For me, I still think Jota. If people are going to ask me who's better, Kuhn or Jota, for me, what I seen with Jota there 2 years, if Kuhn then does that this season and then the majority of next season, then I'm going to go for Kuhn's ahead of him now. For what I've seen, I don't want to say compare players, but for me, Jota was fighting. I love the guy to bits. I'm you, Alan. Similar to Edward, I had a massive soft spot for Edward. I thought Edward was different gravy. But Jota, again, do I think it's going to happen? Probably no. But if it's something that could get done, I don't see why no. Because see if Jota was at his pump and he was playing every week and he was showing the quality that we know he's got, could we sign him again? No. It's similar. Like he's back to Kieran Tierney. This will probably the best chance we'll get to probably sign Kieran Tierney. He's on a free transfer. You might want a good wage, but I think the only team will really maybe take a waste cut would be Celtic because he knows he'll play every week just about here as long as he's fit. He's going to win trophies here. He's going to play in Europe. Hopefully, you qualify for the Champions again. You're going to get that again. So he'll be lauded here. He'll probably play more football here. What other top team is going to take Tierney because of the injuries he's got? But then I think I started the other day, and he's actually missed a lot of games as you think. I can't mind the list of games, but ever since he made his debut at Celtic, it was like 30, 40, 25, 30, 25, 35, and then that's not including the, I think it's 44 Scotland cap. So he's actually played a lot of football. He's missed a lot, but just on that point, mate, with Jota, I'm agreeing with you, but can you not see the fact that fans might go, he's not playing 18 months? I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here.
For me, it's just we're fully aware. We know what he's capable of. He's been one of the best wingers I've seen at Celtic Park for a number of years, and I mean a long time. I'd be struggling think any wingers that have been better than Jota. Some people don't kind of adapt to certain leagues or certain clubs. Maybe coming back to Celtic would be exactly what it needed, but as I say, he'll probably be on a lot of money. It might be difficult to sort out a deal with that. We don't know that. When you're looking at the likes of Kieran Tierney, would I take Kieran Tierney back? I certainly would. I think that he's an outstanding player. But if Kieran Tierney didn't have all the injury, players nowadays are playing kind of 50, 60 odd games a year. Kieran Tierney's nowhere near that. And that's the only reason that it's possible for Celtic to get him back. Because teams of that higher standard, that higher league, they're wanting players that are constantly fit, that there's no question marks about. The only reason it's possible for us to maybe get Kieran Tierney back is because of all the question marks that are hanging over his
But is
head.
that not something, me personally, that we should take advantage of?
We should, yeah. But I'm trying to say, if Kieran Tierney was fully fit and Kieran Tierney was playing constantly, kind of week in, week out, then there's not a hope in hell that it would be a possibility for Celtic to get him. The only reason is because of all these question marks like floating above his head. That's the only way that we could get Kieran Tierney. So there is a kind of a certain amount of risk involved in bringing Kieran Tierney, but you're weighing up the kind of risk reward. And for me, if you could get Kieran Tierney fit, if you could get him playing a high percentage of the games that we play, then for me the reward outweighs the risk. So it is quite a gamble, but I think it's a gamble worth making for me if we had the opportunity to bring in Tierney as well.
Again, it's a good point for Barry. Barry, if Kieran Tierney wasn't Kieran Tierney, would you want to buy him? Good question, Barry. For me, in terms of the quality of player, yes, because I still think he's up there. But again, if he's fully fit and he's fully firing, for me, he's close to world class left back. I think he's tremendous. Again, I like you've said there, Alan. The only thing would be, is he fully fit? Well, as it stands right now, he's fully fit. He's ready to play for Arsenal. He's fully fit right now as it stands. Aye,
As it stands,
aye. So the only way he's not going to get fit is if he probably plays with Arsenal. With the looks of it right now, he's not going to play with Arsenal. He's always on the bench because I doubt they're going to play him unless there's massive injuries. Because I've told him he's going to leave. So I don't think he's going to play much.
Sign him and play him for 10 minutes and then something else breaks down. That's what I mean. It is a gamble. It's a risk.
Aye. It's a risk, but I'm similar to you. I'd be willing to take a risk just because
I
of how
would
good he
as
is.
well.
Because the quality of that player, how much would we need to spend unless we do an unbelievable recruitment job and you get somebody for a few million and they turn out to be a Kieran Tierney. But to buy, if you want to call this ready-made player or this European player to make us better in Europe, how much would you need to spend to get that quality? A lot of money, probably the money or more that we're hoping for. So
the question I'd be asking, Ryan, is right. We've got this debate about just now, Greg Taylor or Alex Valle, right? For me, if you added into that equation a fully fit Kieran Tierney, then there's no debate there. There's one player that goes into that left back position, that's Kieran Tierney.
Yep.
But the question overhead is, can we get him fit? Can we get him consistently playing? That's the question. If that Brendan and the sports science team, whoever it may be, whoever's behind the scenes, if they believe that Kieran Tierney can continuously play and he's going to be an asset for the team, then for me it's an absolute no-brainer. But we've not got the information. We don't know what kind of issues the team behind the scenes are seeing, or what his knowledge of the situation is. So for me, if we could get a fully fit Kieran Tierney that's kind of a high percentage of the time that he's playing, absolute no-brainer for me if we've got the opportunity to bring him in.
See, I'm with John W67. I'm with John there. I believe he's up there with the best, especially when he's fully fit. But I'm with you, John, there. And then George says, imagine the wings of KT, Jota, AJ and Kuhn. George, it would be, I think it'd be very, very good options, personally. We can dream. Listen, I don't think it's impossible, but I do believe that it could be possible. Do I think it's going to happen? Again, I've got information. I'd love it to happen. I think all us fans would love it to happen, but there's always going to be people going to go, well, Jota's not played for so long, Keith's injured, so there's always going to be two sides to...
But as you say, Ryan, that's what I'm saying. See, if Jota was playing and Kieran Tierney was playing, then there's no chance in hell that we've got an
No, I know.
opportunity to bring them
No,
back.
100%.
We need to take the damaged goods, shall we? It's a bit harsh way you say it, but you know what I mean. We need to take the players that are maybe they're out of favour. They need a wee kind of somebody to kind of bring them on, like Brendan Rodgers. Somebody to kind of bring them back to what they've been.
Like Scott Sinclair. That's a big example.
Aaron Moy.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, players like that maybe not been kind of playing at the highest level, just need that wee arm round their shoulder and bring them back up to what they're capable of. And for me, I know that people are saying, "Oh, Jota's only done this and Jota's not done this," but if Jota was performing fantastically well, then there's not an option that Celtic would have to bring him back. So that's the only way that we are capable of bringing these players back. These guys of these quality, if they're underperforming, if they've got question marks over their head, so we need a reality check to know that there's no chance if these guys are performing, we're not getting them back. So we're not going to get them in perfect ways. We're not going to get Jota that scored 10 goals and assisted 15 times. It's not coming back to Celtic if that was the case last year.
You're right, Alan. If Jota was playing in Saudi every week, he's scoring goals, or he stayed at Celtic another year and moved on, there's been no chance of coming back because financially it wouldn't be possible. But for me, I think sometimes you need to take the advantage if possible. And if Jota was available financially, well, put it this way, Alan, we're going to have the biggest budget a game we've ever had. So there's no excuses that we can't blow more money, no blow money. That's a silly thing I've said there. There's no reason why you can't go and spend another £11 million, £10 million a play, because again, for me, I'm always big on that. If you spend a bit of money wisely, you're going to reap the rewards of that and get the money back tenfold if you do well. I.e., like Europe, the new, it's going to be the same format again next year. We qualify, you'll get money for qualifying, money for that, the gate receipts, players' value go up. So for me, the risk is less buying, just say Engels, right? You paid £11 million for Engels, right? But if you then qualify for Europe, he's helped you to do that. You've basically got his money back.
It pays for itself.
And I know either maybe he's not been so far as it stands. He's been the best £9 million transfer for me. I don't think he's worth that. But listen, I didn't pay the fee. He's done okay in terms of coming off the bench and he's done bits and bobs. But even if he does fail,
speculating to accumulate.
I'm not saying he's going to fail, but just say he didn't score the 20 odd goals, or he didn't do as well as we thought, and the £9 million didn't look as good. And listen, it might still look amazing value, but it might not. But because you've qualified and get that money back, nobody's going to say that, oh, he's a £11 million or £9 million failure, because you've won trophies and you've qualified for Europe. But the difference is, if you're paying £5-6 million for somebody and you're not winning leagues and no winning trophies, then they're going to be called failures. And they're no failures, they're just guys that have no work to do. But for me, Aaron, I think sometimes, so far as it stands now, we've done okay in terms of speculating to accumulating, because there'll be the looks here. There'll be the looks here. I don't want to say the league's won on here, but it's looking very, very good. Potentially, the league's just about there. If you win, obviously, the game tomorrow and then the Derby game in the January, won the cup already. So the money's looking spinning again. So I think we're agreeing here, Alan, that you need to not always spend that big money. You still get your £3 million and £2 million. Wisely, but I think sometimes being a wee bit smarter like that, I think it can help you in the long run.
No, of course. If we're trying to kind of have more of an impact in terms of kind of domestic dominance and kind of in the European stage, I'm not saying we're going to have an impact in the European stage, but you look at the comparison for last year to this year, we've obviously got a bigger points tally than we had last year. Favourable group, but we're still done considerably well, and I think we've put in some decent performances, and that's because we've kind of upped the amount of money that we're spending. So it does. It's usually that old saying, in anything in life, you usually get what you pay for. So I'm not going to say it's no, it'll not happen every time, because you look at the likes of somebody like, they'll quote Albion Ayeti, right? You're paying kind of 5 million for him, and that never worked out. But there's more percentage wise that when you pay that extra amount of money, you usually get a better player. In comparison to paying kind of £1 million for the likes of Quan, and £1.5 million, £2 million for Marco Tellio. When you're paying that kind of extra, you usually get what you pay for. It doesn't work out all the time, but you'd like to see us. We're paid 11 million, we're paid 9.5 for Ida. You'd like to see us to at least continue that, and it's an upward trajectory. Actually, that's a tongue twister. So that means that if we can kind of sell all these kind of players, then we'll invest a wee bit more and we can break our transfer record again. That would be the business model I would suggest. And as you say, with regards to how we've played and the kind of results we've had this season, it seems to be working pretty well.
Aye, because for me, Alan, seeing the flip side, see if we won the 10, Ayeti and Barkas would have been wrong signs, because we won the 10 and won the league. Nobody would be talking about the price tags. It's because we were horrible and they didn't perform.
It's because we were rotten.
Aye, so we were rotten, and again, they get criticised more because they were paid for big money. But we've seen Barkas since he's left. He's been brilliant for Usett. Their fans love him. So it just shows you some people come. Aye, it's pressure. Again, I've seen him, Alan.
He was brilliant all there and
Aye.
all.
It just shows you, Alan, you can go and play in certain places and come here and it just, the pressure gets to you and it just doesn't happen. But I think over.
Norwich, know what I mean?
There you go. So it just shows you, Alan, sometimes you come here and again, I think that's maybe sometimes I can be critical knows much sometimes, because to play here it has a lot of pressure in front of thousands of fans and you're playing for people worldwide, and it's a massive thing you're playing for when you play with Celtic. So the pressure must be hard as well. Guys like McGregor every week playing as captain, and eventually sometimes these guys they need a wee bit of a break. I get that as well. So sometimes maybe critical why I go right, okay. Maybe no too much because of how much it is the pressure to play here and stuff. But obviously tomorrow as well, it is another big game for us. We last 5 minutes on this week before we end the show. St Johnstone have been great so far this season. I know they've got a new manager now, so hopefully he gets time to obviously get St Johnstone up the table and get their ideas across. But what you expect tomorrow, Alan, team wise? What you expecting? How you expect us to play? Do you expect to either put on a real good performance again, or you just want to get the victory and then go to Ibrox with a bit of momentum in the league? Hopefully it still stays that 12-point gap.
I hope we carry on with our kind of second half performance. I think it could be quite important that we put in a good performance tomorrow. Obviously, the most important part is the 3 points, but I think it would be quite important if we put in a good performance, because that gives the kind of players that wee bit of confidence going into that game. What I expect for St Johnstone, we don't really watch St Johnstone enough to know exactly what this new manager's going to exactly be. Simo Valicari used to play with Motherwell, but I would expect they're going to be pretty kind of defensive. We know that with the majority of teams that kind of turn up at Celtic Park domestically, that they're going to be that kind of defensive and try to kind of make it hard for them to break down. But we know that it's nothing new. Like you're looking at the last few weeks when we've kind of maybe not found it the easiest to break these kind of teams down, but we know that that's the way teams are going to set up. So we need to find a way to break these teams down, and we have got enough quality to do that. We just need to show that quality. When you're looking at kind of the team lineup, as I say, I might be 100% wrong, but I expect kind of Brendan to go with more or less full strength. I don't know the situation yet. We'll maybe find out. But Alistair Johnston, is he going to be fit? Do you know, Ryan?
Again, I've not
It's
seen
not
any.
even.
I've not seen
Aye,
any pressure, Alan. I've not seen any
it's
pressure
no.
today.
I know.
So,
So I'm
um,
expecting if Alistair Johnston's fit, I think he might play, but I'll go with Ralston playing. I'll go with Schmeichel. I think he'll play Ralston. I don't know if Alistair Johnston will be fit. Carter Vickers, Trusty, I know that's another one. Where's he? Is he back now? He was he was ill with the flu, wasn't he?
aye.
So I would go Carter Vickers, Trusty. I would like to think Valle. Then I think the middle of the park are Cal McGregor, Rio Hatati and Paulo Bernardo. I think it'll be Nicholas Kuhn, Tyson Maeda and Kyogo. And I think apart from the Ralston and Johnston situation, I think that's our strongest 11 in my opinion. So I think we should win pretty comfortably, and I'll go for another 4-0.
I think, Alan, I think we're due a really good performance. I don't know if I'll just wait until Ibrox for that to happen, but I think we're due a wee bit of a good. I know we scored 4 goals and when we won the game that looked like it was a brilliant performance. The second half was. I'd like to see us come right out of the traps and just pepper them down. But overall, I just want a victory. I just get the victory. I think that's the most important. But a performance, especially the two halves, would be good. But I think overall, and it's just get the victory. Then you get into the game against them across the water. And let's be fair, if you beat St Johnstone, no matter what happens at Fir Park for them across the water, Motherwell, you win the derby, and I don't want to say a shootout for the league, but it's basically you win and the league's just about done. Basically, without putting the ribbons on it, because like you says in the earlier on in the show, mate, 15, I was going to say 15 minutes there, 15 points, a gap. Are Celtic going to really lose 4 games, 5 games? I can't see it. Stranger things have happened, but you just can't see this team dropping 15 points if that's what it got to, or 14, whatever it's going to get to. So, I'm going to go with you in terms of that. I think Johnson, I'd like him to play, but again, I think you might keep him for Ibrox fully fit. So I think Ralph will continue. I would like to see Valle, but I think he'll stick with Taylor. Again, I'd like to see Trusty, but I think we'll keep Scales because he's done well. So I'm going to be the same back four. I think it'll be Hatati will come in for Bernardo. But I think it'll be Hatati, Bernardo, Hatati, McGregor, and Engels. I actually think he'll play Young. I think he'll play Young. I think he'll play Young with Maeda, and I think he'll play Kyogo. I think he'll maybe just keep Kuhn, Ripping Cotton Wool, bring him on again in the second half, and then play my Ibrox fully fit. I could be wrong. I'm just thinking about Kuhn. Is he up to full speed with his knee? I don't know. I don't know about his pressure. We've not seen it today yet, so I don't know exactly how fit he is. Is he fit to play the full game? He did look fit against Motherwell, so I like Kuhn to play Alan, similar to you. I like Kuhn to play Kyogo. I like Maeda. I like to just go full centre if we can, but I think you might have an eye on the game next Thursday. So I think that will be the team. I don't want to play Young, but I think he will. And if he does, it's Lance Chancellor for me, Alan, personally. I'll be getting ready with he's done it again. And but no, listen, if he plays, I hope he plays well, Alan. But I would like a convincing victory. That's the thing I'd like us to do. Get a victory and get it over the line. But I am obviously we're back Monday for the usual Monday show, but obviously it will be the derby preview because we'll not be on until after that. Because obviously the game's on Thursday, then obviously New Year is obviously coming up to that as well. So, but lead up to that game, Alan, what's your thoughts up to the game just a wee bit before we cut it short tonight?
The big game, the Glasgow derby.
Yeah.
Like any other Glasgow derby, I think that we've got far better players. If we play up to our, if we play to the best of our ability, we've got better players. I think you look at the last game, the cup final. I think we probably played near our worst, and we still managed to win in penalties. So I would expect a better performance than we seen in the cup final. I would hope for that anyway. And if we play anywhere near our best, I expect 3 points because I just think I'm not trying to rub it into them, but I just think that we've got more quality than they've got all across the park, and I think that's clear to see when you look at the gap that we've got in the league and the first domestic trophy in the bag.
Aye, I think you're right, mate. Obviously, we'll delve into that on Monday. Get a good show on Monday about the derby game, so we'll delve into that as usual. But again, thanks everyone who's tuned in. It's been a good lot of you tuning in tonight. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Saturday night. A lot of you should have been out drinking and enjoying the festive period. But Tierney, me and Alan talking sense or talking rubbish, whatever you feel. So thanks a lot for tuning in and commenting and liking and subscribing to the channel. Please like and subscribe to the channel, please, if you can. It is free. We are on all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok as well. We're all on that. So please, if you can, subscribe. Anything that you do for us, comment, subscribing, liking, it helps the channel, it helps us get guests on, it helps us get guys like Barry Bannon on, William Glavin, other guys we've had on in the past, like Paul Hartley and stuff. Any support you give us, it helps us bring the content to you. Me now doing this at the moment, JP coming on as well, it helps us bring that to you, and it is all free of charge. But again, thanks for your comments. Enjoy your Saturday night, enjoy the game tomorrow, enjoy New Year, because I don't think we'll see you after that, after the Monday show. So if anybody don't tune in tonight or Monday, enjoy your New Year. Take care. It is getting -12 out there, so wrap up, get your scarves, get your gloves on, wrap up on this Saturday night. But take care, all the best, and hail, hail.
Hail, hail.